All right. Who do we have out there? Who do we have in YouTube land? YouTube, Utopia, the real place where the real gunman and gun gal hangs out. Who do we have out there? I said, who do we have out there? Who wants to dabble in a little bit of 30-30 Winchester? We got Bobby Barlow, long live 3. Long live 3. Is your phone broke? My phone works really good, really good. I've been a busy guy lately. Ben Lyons, Andy's 79Z28, lead mining 44. No, on the serious side, I have so many messages on my phone. I probably have maybe 15 text messages in there right now, and my Gmail is just plumb full. So that's all it is. I sent you a message. Right now, my phone is charging. It was on overload all day. I will say, over the last 7 years of my channel, over this last month, I've had more questions come over my phone than any other time. So it's really, don't be sorry. I will look for your question, and after the live stream, I'll see if I can't jump on there and find it for you. So, all right, what do you guys say? We do a little bit of this. You want to do some of this? You want to do some of that? You guys want to shoot this? You can shoot this. Okay. Yes, it's unloaded. This is one of my Winchester lever action 30-30 rifles. Why would you want to have a lever action 30-30? Well, for one thing, it's not a semi-auto. They really can't touch it. But if you think about it, now I don't want to get into politics, but if you think about it, you know, for fast up, repeat shots, it's quite the weapon. Okay. Now I'm not looking at my sights. I'm watching the TV up there. We got Rich Discoveries. Hey, I know he's got a lever action. I know. I would love to look at his lever action. It's one that's old. He's put it away, and it's like new. I think it's if I remember right, a Centennial or something like that. But anyway, your lever action, it's a close-up brush gun. That's the idea. It's not long range at all, but it makes for short work in the brush. Now, I'm going to talk about a few things. We got Curtis Long on. Let's see, Ben Lyons, Long Live 3, Lead Mining 44, Andy 79Z28. A lever action rifle is practical. It's practical for the means in which it was designed. Great scabbard gun, whether it's a horse, a dirt bike, four-wheeler. Okay, Rich Discoveries. It's a Wells Fargo edition from, I believe, 1977, but it's a Winchester model 94 lever action. I would love to see that, Rich. Everyone, he has his own YouTube channel, and he has a couple of Facebook groups. So Rich is a good friend of mine, and we don't see each other a lot. We're both busy, but when we see each other, we always have a lot in common. So, so the lever gun, it's a brush gun. It's primarily for hunting, but this is a great defense weapon. This rifle, 30-30 Winchester, in the hands of someone that's really comfortable with it, it's not to be reckoned for in a home self-defense situation. It's just not. You have capacity, you have ease of rechambering. You can load them pretty quick too if you're familiar with these. If you handle them a lot, okay. Your lever action rifle, which you don't want to do, you don't want to do this. I mean, we tend to. Sometimes I will do that. Like when I'm out in the desert and I'm shooting squirrels, when the squirrels are running and I'm staying on them, I'm moving like a turret. I'm going to keep it up here. But sometimes, like, okay, there's a rabbit. I got him. Then I'll rest. I won't rechamber. Okay, another rabbit. And I'm on him and I stay and I hold. But when you're doing follow-up shots with your lever action, that's it. That's it. You keep it to the shoulder. That's the idea. It's kind of the old world AR-15 in my mind. High volume, repeatable shots, great accuracy, close up. Not a bad battle gun, really. It's not. So I think everyone should own a lever gun. For the reloader, now, I would put the Winchester 30-30 in the same category as the 41 Magnum. Now, I want everyone to listen up. I'm not wasting my words. In the history of me reloading ammunition, there's only been one time that I haven't been able to find components for the 41 Magnum. That was the worst that it got in the, Obama, Hillary era. Everyone was afraid. Well, with the 41 Remington Magnum, what was happening, you see, everyone was fearful. They were buying, all the reloaders were buying the components up, and everyone was telling me, I can't find components for this, for this, for this. Well, what I was doing on a weekly basis, my shelves were wiped out, except for one 41 Magnum. So every payday, this was for months. It went for like over a year. Every payday, I would go pick up a little 41 Magnum components, baby. I'm buying them and I'm stuffing them away. I began telling my viewers, hey, you need to buy yourself a 41 Magnum. This is why. And slowly but surely, as my viewers began buying the 41 Magnum, they were nailing the components. The only reason they were out in my area is because I was buying all of them. Okay, and so I found that these guys that had these 41 Magnums, they're getting the components. 41 Magnum, you would be very wise to get your Ruger Blackhawk in 41 Magnum and put you and buy in on your components and put those back. But when times get bad, you can still get those components because no one shoots that. And you're talking more muzzle energy than the 357 Magnum, a little less than 44. So, it's going to do the job. It's going to do the job. That is the Winchester 30-30. The last rifle bullet on the shelf, well, one of them, your 30-30. It's always there. If you can't find it in that gun shop, some gun shop's going to have it. Winchester, lever action, 30-30, powder versatility. Huge powder selection for the Winchester 30-30. We're talking about a simple, large rifle primer, brass abundance, right on line. Companies have it. They're blowing out 300 blackout. They're blowing out 223 Remington. They're blowing out 308 Winchester. All these rifle cartridges are going out. No one has them, but you can get 30-30. Just order them. They'll send them to you. While you're at it, why don't you get a couple of these rifles? Because they're dependable. They are destructive. Any firearm's destructive, but used as you need, they're set for hard use. You can't hurt these if you're a good gunman. You know everything about them. Keep them clean, and they feed. They feed. Mechanically, they're waiting on you. You keep them clean, and your reloads are fit. This rifle is going to work. So now we got to get into making sure your reloads fit. And that's what we're going to do. So real quick, I'm just going to get a little bit into the case prep because Saturday night we're going to have a live stream party, a bunch of channels on. We're going to get into some 30-30 Winchester. But here's the good news. Throughout next week and the next weekend after that, I'm going to get into more 30-30. If you really want to get into 30-30, watch my channel over the next week and a half to 2 weeks. I'll put quite a bit out, okay? So we got Peanuts 3880. Now, I got to tell you, my comments are far off, so I messed your comment up. It's okay. Okay, I can barely make. We got 67 Rebel SST AMC. Just picked up a Marlin 30-30. Sweet. That guy's a smart man. You can't have too many 30-30s. You really can't. Really, when shit hits the fan, you're set up pretty good. Okay, if you can run that lever and you can hold a bead sight, you're pretty good. Okay, you can get it out there pretty good. I haven't ever met anyone that can outrun a bullet running about 2,200 feet per second. I haven't seen it. Reloader dude can. Reloader dude can, and he can catch it and throw it right back at you. And Reloader dude, it's good to see you, brother. Okay. In the description box below, I have some links. Those are all bit.ly links. By the way, if you want to support the channel, if you click on any of those bit.ly links and you purchase anything through Brownells, okay, if you click on a set of dies through that link in Brownells and you don't want the dies, but you buy another $5 item, we get a percentage that goes to the channel. So if you can, and you know what, we'd rather you do that than send money. So if you can, in the description box below, if there's something you need, get it ordered, okay? So what I have is some Starline brass. These are 30-30 Winchester. Now, the first thing I'm going to tell you about 30-30 Winchester, and why don't I get into my recipe? I'll get into my recipe for you. I didn't think about it, but I suppose I'd better. Let me stand up. You guys know I like to stand and talk. All right, let's back up. Let's not get into the case. Let's talk about the bullet. Want to see the bullet? Well, fit for a perfect whitetail. Perfect. You want to drop a whitetail, but I'll tell you something. This will drop more than a whitetail. Ideal for a whitetail. Take a big, nice muley buck, no problem. It's always about proper shot placement. Don't get on to me about shot placement. Guys are like, well, shot placement, you know, and they criticize you. If you don't know what shot placement is and you're going to criticize that, you should have taken hunter safety. Because if you say shot placement there, your instructor will know what you're talking about. So shot placement. If you don't know what that is, go take a good hunter safety course or research that. But it's all about shot placement. It is. And what your bullet is capable of. In my Sierra load data manual, by the way, click any of the links below and look up Sierra load data manual. If you order this, that will help the channel. This is my primary go-to, okay? This is the bullet that I'm using. This is bullet number 2000. I've already messed around with a couple boxes of these. This is a fabulous performing bullet. I haven't shot any animals with it. I've shot a lot of stuff with it. You can push this bullet as hard as that manual's putting out. This little 150 grain bullet take you a big muley, no problem. Okay. Shot placement. I would say big muley on this, you're going to want to get up, say, no further out than 70 yards. See, this is the thing. A lever action rifle is close-up brush stuff. That's what it is. That, if you'll hear guys in there start kicking the 30-30 Winchester around, those guys are taking that and they're putting it into a category where different rifles perform further out, more muzzle energy, more velocity. My 30-06, okay guys, I got a 30-06 that I've been shooting for mega years, and I have my 30-30 Winchesters. We're talking on average, you just go look it up off the top of my head, 900 feet per second less on your 30-30 Winchester. What is hunting about? What's to drop an animal? You need destruction of tissue. You get that by penetration and bullet expansion. 900 feet per second less off the 30-30. It's not going to have what that .06 has. It's just not. The .06 is I prefer to hand load. I can get better performance with my .06. Okay, the .06 is a fabulous round, but the 30-30 Winchester is not an .06. It's a close-up brush gun. That's all it is. That's why I don't put scopes on my 30-30s. It's for fast action closed up. Okay, so I have a 158 grain flat nose bullet. Yes, it's a 30 caliber. The 30-30 Winchester is a 30 caliber, just like your .06, your 308, but it's going at a slower velocity. All right. I want to say something. This just, talking with this guy not too long ago, he's using the word projectile when he's talking to me. He said, I bought X amount of boxes of projectiles. Poor. That's a social media thing. You're a reloader. You go and you look up what I'm about to tell you. I am 54, began reloading when I was 10 years old. I still don't know how to reload, but Reloader does, and he will tell you. These are not projectiles. This isn't a box of projectiles. It's a box of bullets. They don't become projectiles until they're in motion. Once you pull the trigger, you now have a projectile. I can have a rock on the ground and it's a rock. I can pick it up and I have a rock in my hand. Once I release it, I have a projectile, and its makeup is that of a rock. Okay. I don't like the word projectile. I am with Reloader dude. Some guys they get into reloading and they just get hooked on projectile. Man, look at my projectile. You know what? To me, Reloader dude, a projectile is a rocket. Something big that is really going to make a statement. I'm sorry, my 240 grain, 44 caliber bullet, that's big. That's not a projectile in my opinion. Call it what you want, but if you go look at the dictionary, it's not a projectile until it's in motion. But we really don't have to use that word, because we understand that when I say my bullet's in flight, we don't have to call it projectile. Call it what you want. These are bullets. Okay. I say bullets, right? I concur with Reloader dude. So these are 150 grain. I would say, a nice big muley, get close in on him. But another thing, I would have no issue at all if I had a tube full of these and a black bear wanted to, do business with me. I wouldn't have a problem. One thing, when I am up in the mountains, when I get my lever action, I always have a 44 Magnum, big old 300 grain bullet, ready to do business. But I'm telling you something, if you're getting a problem with the bear and this doesn't work, he's on you anyway. You're not gonna have time to grab that revolver. You're just not. Guys will say, oh yeah, if I missed, I'm gonna grab my revolver and I'm gonna nail him 6 times. No, you're not. If you're in the mountains and you just have just a revolver and a bear charges you, you're barely gonna have enough time to get one off. And if you get the one off, he might be on you. So let's just talk about this. No revolver, just a lever action. That's fair. Think about what I just told you. We went from a revolver to a lever action to just a lever action, because in all reality, when a bear comes at you, it's at moment's notice, and they have the jump on you. They knew you were there long before you did, or you spooked them. And she's got some cubs. Okay, not that we want to kill mama bear, but that bullet right there, I would have no problem with a black bear. Chambered all the way up in my Winchester lever action 30-30, I would feel very comfortable. That's not the bullet I would choose to go hunting for that bear, because I'm going to do a different kind of shot. I'm going to do a kill zone shot. If you don't know what kill zone is, don't freak out. Go take a hunter safety course or look in your hunting regs. It will teach you what kill zone. You know, an archer has a different kill zone than you know, a rifle. They get all mad when you say kill zone. Just go look it up. But I'll guarantee you, if I'm going to go hunting for a bear, I'm not going to set myself up to have a charging bear. So we're talking a charging bear. Yeah, I wouldn't have a problem, because bang, 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 bang. Now, I just said that if we had a revolver, you're not going to have time to rack these off and grab your revolver. It's just not, unless the bear's half down. But a bear charging you at a realistic distance, and what you don't do is this. No. Nice and steady. You're going to get your bear. Okay? So it's just a black bear. That's all it is. It's a black bear. It's not a grizzly. Which brings me to this. Something big like a moose or a grizzly. You'll get into this talk. They'll say, well, so would you use that 150 grain on a moose? Well, now wait. If you're going looking for a moose, you got the wrong bullet to begin with. And if you're looking for a grizzly bear, you got the wrong caliber to begin with. So let's just call this for what it is. It's a whitetail. Backwoods, close-up, brush gun, whitetail. Something else fun about this bullet. I love to go out and shoot squirrels with it. If you want a really good one, the Sierra 125 grains. Maybe double check. Yeah. The Sierra 125 grain, cruising at velocities as high as 2,500 feet per second. Little squirrels running on the ground, and little squirrels going 20, 30, 35 feet into the air. This is a blast. It is. So now let me tell you what you're going to like about this. For me, in my opinion, for just a company that has every bullet you need, I like Sierra. It's personal. It's just me. And their bullets work. So if you're new to reloading, this is a great bullet. Okay? Right there. Bullet 2000. Click on one of the links below. Go to Sierra Bullets 2000. Fabulous bullet. You can't go wrong. It brings us to this. So since now I backed up, we're talking about recipe. Now we're going to talk about, we talked about bullet and case. In order of our components, the most important is your bullet, okay, your powder, your case, and your primers. I'm going to use tack. All along Saturday, you'll see the tack. I don't have the tack. So I have my bullet, 150 grain, Sierra bullet, flat nose. Then I have my tack, and the next is the case. Now I want to talk about the case. And believe it or not, I don't have to really do anything with these cases to help you to understand something. It's hunting season right now. That's why I've been busy this month. I've got a lot of guys asking me a lot of questions on the hunting, and rightly so. We got a lot of guys that have been hunting a long time. This is their first year for loading, and so they're really excited. Now I'm going to tell you something. Don't overthink your hunting. Don't overthink your hunting loads. If you ask me what's more important, shot groups coming off of my 30-30 Winchester are velocity. I'd say, well, as long as you have reasonable shot groups, I really think you should get your velocities up. Really? Yeah, I would say really, and I'll tell you why. Okay, you guys notice every time I pick this up, I rack it. I know this isn't empty. I know this is not loaded, but I always double check myself. Now I want you to think about something. I'm saying for this, I would rather have a little more velocity than a premium shot group. Why? Because this is right here, and I'll guarantee you, the most stillest I can be, I'm going to have a heart rate and an adrenaline rush. And my accuracy just went all out the window. Well, what did we say to take our animal down? We need destruction of tissue, right? Velocity and bullet performance is going to be king with shot placement. So you're going to put your bead where you need on this animal. So shot placement is everything, but secondary is you need penetration and performance from that bullet. Your shot placement, the best that's going to be is as good as you can control your rifle. And you take someone that's really good, they've hunted for years, you still have heartbeat. You could take a very experienced hunter that doesn't, they know how to control that, and they know how to control their breathing. But now they just did a 100-yard pack up a mountain, and they're pushing hard. Now what's more important? Accuracy. That you're looking for this little accuracy when you need some penetration, bub, because you need to destroy something and get it down. Now what's the trade-off on that? The trade-off is none. I say, really? I say, yeah. Because on these that I've ran, and on I've ran the 125s, the 150s, and the 170s. I have 2 boxes of the 170s. It's been 2 years, but my memory, my recollection is of all 5 of my Winchester rifles, I can push the upper limits of my velocities, and I can't say that my accuracy really isn't any worse than factory. If factory is beating me by much, my velocities are definitely noticeable higher. So really, for your lever action rifle, now, for your lever action rifle, we're running TAC, and this is just me talking. Someone might not agree, but you do what you want. But on my TAC, for 1900 feet per second, I'm at 25.6. I can run it up to 32 grains of TAC for 2300 feet per second. And if you're going to do that, you just don't want to load 32 grains and go out. You're going to want to drop 10% and begin going up in 0.2 of a grain, watching for overpressure. You've got to watch for overpressure on your 30-30, on anything, right? But we're talking, we want to get this velocity up for this 30-30, but you got to make sure that, okay, if it starts extracting hard, you need to back down. On your lever action, listen very carefully to me. A sooty primer or a flattened primer, those aren't always indications that you're overpressure, because 30-30 Winchester brass, you don't get a long lifespan. You just don't. I always call it in my mind, think of them as clumsy brass. You don't get a lot of reloads out of those. But there's one thing that will happen when you get too high pressure. Okay, you're shooting. You're used to this. You're used to that. And all of a sudden, you put your next load in, or you weren't being too smart, and you just went straight to max load, and you pull the trigger, and you go, and it ejects hard. you got a problem. Your case just told you I had too much pressure. That's when you look at your case and you go, oh, I got a flattened primer. When you have a flattened primer and a case that extracts hard from a chamber, trust me, guys, in my years of reloading, when I was young, I like to run everything hot. And I learned that when a case extracts hard, it's telling you, back off. You're going to hurt yourself. Okay? You're gonna destroy your gun at the least. You don't want to hurt. I'll tell you what you don't want to do. Don't hurt your pride. So, a case that extracts hard, back it down. Drop it down a good 10% and begin working up in 2/10 and feel that lever and follow it up that way. Now, your brass. I'm running Starline. I think really, okay, your two best sources of brass are this, and this is just my opinion. You go to a local gun shop and you buy some Winchester 30-30 ammo, Remington, whatever it is, and you shoot that through your rifle. Don't disregard those. That's gold to you. That's now matched to your 30-30. Perfectly fire-formed cases. Those you can reload, okay? Your next best source, this is just my opinion, Starline. Buy it like you stole it, okay? And there's some reasons, and I'm going to tell you in a second. Don't know, Rebel. I think it's a fine caliber. I can't really see. I can't. My screen is way that way, so I can't see that. Okay, reloader dude. I've heard guides won't take you out for grizzlies if you bring a 300 Win mag. That's wrong. That's not right. You can take a Winchester 30-30 with you, but your guide will have the proper gun to back you. That's the answer. The question is not what are you going to bring, what your guide's, plural, gonna bring, okay? So, okay, and that's what I'm going to say, okay? It depends on what guys you go with, okay? So if I'm a guide and my clients paid me $15,000 and he says, I want to bring this little single shot, whatever, I'm going to say, all right, I got your back, right? Okay, if things get out of hand. So that's I could be wrong, okay? Anyway, the first thing that you know something is wrong is when it starts out, I heard someone say. There you go. Okay, we can all laugh at that. We've all been there. It's a good question, right? So, your brass. You're not going to get a lot of reloads out of your 30-30 Winchester. If you ask me, well, how many reloads am I going to get? I'm going to tell you, I don't know. I don't know what kind of pressure you're going to run. I don't know if you're going to be running mild loads. I don't know if you're going to be running hot loads. I don't know if you're going to run 125 grain bullets. I don't know if you're going to run 170s. What are you going to load? But I will tell you this. What will dictate what you can do with the 30-30 is just how much punishment that rim can take. And that is part of you having to inspect. But now here's another thing. If you have a lever action that you buy and it doesn't consistently eject, that gun needs to go to a gunsmith. It's not worthy to go and use in the backwoods. You never want to take a firearm that's not worthy for the job. Like this old lever action. You would say, oh my gosh, That's old, it's been fired. Would you really trust your life? Yeah, if it will chamber and eject and fire, but it has to eject consistently. It has to feed. If it will feed, if you can take your rifle out and it will always feed and you always clean it, it's worthy for the job. And I always say, I'll tell you this, it doesn't hurt to take it to a gunsmith and say, would you check it out? Gunsmith, check it out and give it back. And you know you're good. You know you're good. I've been around rifles my whole life. I understand what a proper rifle is, and I understand what a rifle is that I wouldn't take into the backcountry. I would take this to the backcountry. It's a good rifle. It's a very good rifle. So if your rifle won't eject your cartridge cases, that's not a rifle that you want to go any further unless you take it to a qualified gunsmith, not your friend. And that brings us to this. So how many rounds are you going to get out of your 30-30 cases? Well, if you got a rifle that ejects really well, and after X amount of rounds, these aren't ejecting, and you're looking at, and you're seeing incipient case headlines, that brass is done. It's just done. It's seen its life. An auto-loading rifle, when the bolt strips that round from the mag and chambers it, it's so fast and violent. When it extracts that round, it's so hard on it, it's out of there. Your lever action is not far behind that. The only thing lacking in speed is humanly, we can't move the lever as fast as our auto-loading opponent, the AR-15 or whatever you got, AK-47, whatever it may be. So your brass, you're not going to get a lot of loadings out of it. In my opinion, I think that for just going and buying a new case, I think that Starline's got a good price and it's a quality case. It's better than what you're going to get for the price, and I'll tell you why. Now, I want to say something. Man, I mean that. Whether you're a reloader or whether you're not, for plinking, always get the cheapest 30-30 ammo you can get. Man, as long as it's a pure brass cartridge case, get the cheapest 30-30 you can, because you're not going to, if you're a reloader, you're not going to get a lot out of the brass anyway, and all you're going to do is send bullets down range, or like Reloader Dude calls them, projectiles. Okay. So we're not going to get a lot. Now, now here's the next thing. Accuracy, hunting, and precision. In my opinion, and if some guys don't agree, I don't have a problem. I really don't. I don't. From a hunting application, I am not looking for the amount of precision that certainly a long-range shooter is going to put into it. I'm not. One, when I hunt, I want to get close and personal. I want to smell that animal. If I could take a deer with my bare hands and my knife, I would. I mean, I want in the blood. That is totally me. Totally me. I don't have a problem after I gut my deer out, putting my hands in the guts and going, yeah. I had someone bet me. No, they didn't bet me, but when they even came close to saying, are you going to partake of the dead animal? I cut the meat off and they ate it raw and warm. That's me, totally me. So I'm not going to go out and I'm not going to line a buck up at a tremendous distance that's going to be further than what my bullet's capable of. Gosh, if I wound this animal, I owe it a clean kill. And I'm going to stalk this thing forever while it's down. No, I'm going to get close. So I don't need really precision for that. But, even at 200 yards with getting a good rest on the side of a tree, I'm going to have some movement until I really get settled. You're not going to have that same settling on your crosshairs as you are when you're at the range and you're on a bench Some guys in their mind, they think that they're going to go and have this primo shot. I was talking to a guy, this was years back. He said, "Oh yeah, man, I'm going to get down on the ground," and I like, it doesn't happen that way. It doesn't happen. He's like, "Oh no, it's perfect. I'll be down on the ground." He goes hunting, doesn't come back. He goes, "Ground sucks because you come down and the dirt piles in front of your muzzle." I said, "I told you, it's not like when you rolled your cod out. When you rolled your cod out, you got to get out there and you get a look over the prairie, and you got your tripod action going out in the sticks. It's a lot different. And so you're going to just do the best you can with whatever position you can set up on, but that position isn't going to be what you're using for 1,000-yard unless you're a competitive shooter and you know the spot where you're going to take the animal and you can get set up, and that's different. You think about it. If you know where you're going to take your animal, man, you can sit there and get all ready, and you got your breathing down, right? But all of a sudden, it's the biggest bull elk you ever saw, and guess what? Yeah, he's a bench press shooter, but he didn't have this problem when he was on the bench, so it's different. It's different. Now, there is something you can do to build in precision on a rifle, and I would say this is for bolt action. Make your first round better fit to the chamber, and the rest, they're going to be sized, say 2 to 4 thousandths less than that, or to a semi-spec. Why? Because your first round is going to be the first one in the chamber, bang, and then you're going to follow up with the next, and that's going to not be as accurate. So hope that makes sense. We got Idaho, Rogers, United States Marine Corps. So now we have our brass, and for the Starline, this is the first thing. Why I think this is like the greatest brass you can get for your period. I understand that some guys are into extra long range, and we have different companies that make cases just for that, and that's not my world. It may be one day, when my house is paid off and I can get a long range rifle and get into that. But for what I do in my real world application, the real bang bang, everything Starline makes works. The first thing this case doesn't have is a flash hole burr. I don't need to deburr my flash holes, because that little hole in there, the way Starline makes this, there's no burr. A burr inside of a case, if this is the hole, this little, you see the little flash hole? You see that little flash hole? On the inside of that case, on a lot of cases, that little hole, if this is that hole, on one side you'll have a burr. So when you have flash, the flash starts burning here, but it can't burn the powder on this side. So you have to go in and remove that burr, okay? Not with Starline. There's the hole. There's no burn. So now you get complete uniform combustion. Now, your powder. Powders have burn rates. Burn rates are controlled by, think of in your mind, there's something sprayed over that powder that burns different than the powder. And it's going to control how fast that powder granule burns. So when you have a case that's full of powder, when you have the flash, the powder doesn't burn from here to here like a fuse. Instead, we have what's called brisance. Think of spit. When you talking about brisance, let's think of spit. The primer spits these flames into this case, kind of as evenly as they can do that. And they're flames, brisance. Brisance is the shattering effect of an object. So it's going to shatter the powder and embed these flames, but they're not going to start burning for a brief moment because of this coating, controlled burn. And then what happens, as uniform as it can, it all burns pretty doggone close to the same time. We don't have it burning from here to here. We don't have it burning from here to here. Which brings us to this. If your recipe calls for a, I don't care, any cartridge, any caliber, I'm just not talking 30-30 Win. If it calls for a regular primer and you use a Magnum, that Magnum's going to be hotter and it's going to hit that different. And it can now, instead of all your powder burning at once, it changes the rate and it's more like a fuse, and that can change the entire characteristics of everything where you won't have any performance. Kind of just doesn't work, okay? Just because you put a Magnum primer doesn't mean that your rocket's going to go faster. It just means things are going to operate different. They could be better, but it might not, okay? So we don't have a burr in this flash hull. So with using a large primer, this is a 9.5 Remington. Now we have controlled burn. And that brings us to internal case pressure. Internal case pressure, we got to talk about that. In the description box below, I put a link to the Rcbs military crimp removal tool. That's for someone that shot me a text asking about that. I said I'll put that in the description. So just act like you don't see that. But if just check it out. If you're doing crimp removal on mil-spec cases, you know, you're trying to prime them, and you, instead of swaging, that's my preference, go check that out. What I am going to do, I do this on all my rifle cartridge cases, except, well, no, I do. I always say on my 223 Remington, I don't, because I shoot so much of it. But there's nights I just come out here, and also over like a week's time, I'll do several thousand. Once you do this, you don't have to do it again, okay? This is a primer pocket uniformer. Now, we're talking about beating factory. You do not beat factory with necessarily using a specific set of dies. I will guarantee you, if you look at the tooling that factories use, it's not the same as your press. It's not the same as that stupid little die that we use. It's all different. I mean, I'm talking about the big boys, okay? So don't be thinking about your dies necessarily. Dies can play into that, but what plays more into beating factory is what you do for case prep. All right? For case prep, this primer pocket uniformer that little uniformer is a cutting tool. It is sized to a SAMI specification for your primer pocket. This is the same, and I just matched that to this. So when I take this and I do that to all of those, now I'm going to take all of these, which are produced in a certain tolerance, and I'm going to seed them pretty doggone close to the same. If you hand prime, it gets even better. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this primer pocket uniformer, let every one of them have it. You only have to do this one time, but here's the gold. The gold is you go to the range, you shoot them up, you come back and you universal decap them. You can do them all again. It just cleans it out. Now, if if you've got a pet load, don't do that because you just change. But I'm talking a hunting application. Okay. On these, initially, do the primer pocket uniformer, and then if you want, you can run that through, get them cleaned up, you're ready to go. But they're all the same for when you're seeding those primers. Okay. So now your primers are going to be all seeded the same. Boom, 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 boom. Every primer pocket, that's the same. What's the next thing we got to do? Neck tension. We've talked about two things so far that are going to build in accuracy to your round. One, we don't have a flash hole, burr, right? Two, perfect primers, but now there's something else. Neck tension. Think about this. Think about this. You got a gun. You go bang. I don't care what powder you're running, you're going to have some kind of pressure spike and it's going to come down. Well, what if, let's pretend this is a magnified graph you're looking at. One spike goes like this and one spike goes like this. Even though this is a magnified graph, if it's a little one, you might not see that difference. But we are trying to beat factory. We're not talking about die adjustment, none of this. We're talking case prep, right? We don't want this. We want this. Every time. Every time. You got the rifle. You have the ability to put those crosshairs or those open sights where they are, but something has to happen in your chamber to where it's the same every time. If we have all primer flash holes with no burrs, we have seeded all of our primers, or set it up so we're ready to seed. One last thing we got to do is we have to set our neck tension. Well, there's one more thing past that. Okay. So now let's get into this. And we're not going to go too much longer here. But, all right. I have a full-length resizing die. Have a decapper rod in there, just leave it. Because you need that expander. Now you can pull the expander and pull the decap rod if you want. Just leave it. It'll be fine. Run that die lock ring all the way to the top. Bring your shell holder all the way up. Run your die all the way down until you are just touching your shell holder. And now you're in this area where you're ready to begin resizing, but we're not going to do that. We're not going into this area. But what we want to do is I want you to look very carefully at the mouth of that case. It's not perfectly round. It's not. But you have a perfectly round bullet. So we're going to make this perfectly round. And even on especially new cases, fired cases, we're going to do this. Now I'm going to say something. I don't want your eyeballs to roll back. Understand what I'm about to say. If you load this case just like that, it's going to function. May or may not keep up with factory. If it doesn't, it's not much less. But when you resize it after you shoot it, now you have a perfect neck tension. So if you think about it, if you load all these up new and you don't run the expander ball through here, and you go through and you sight in, and you come back and reload those, you're going to have a different shot group. See, you had accuracy on the first loads, but you never ran an expander ball through there. So after you fired those, then you ran the expander ball through there, and guess what? Different neck tension, and the case mouth was perfect, which you didn't have the time before, which brings me to this. You've got to understand this. In all actuality, when you are uniforming your primer pocket, you can do this every time unless you're shooting like long range precision. You're only going to do that once, because if you uniform the primer pocket the first time and then you do it the second time, it's different. We're loading for what? A brush gun. So you can actually do the primer pocket again. You're not going to see enough of a difference. But for your brush gun, what we do want is we want to get our neck tension right. Okay? So we're going to do this. Okay? In the description box below, this is the Rcpack. This is gold, actually, in my opinion. That's your graphite. This is your recharger. When this gets dry, you pour a little more recharger in. Now do this. Turn it upside down. Shake it. Now take your case, and it's lubed. The case mouth is lubed. Have you ever had someone on social media, a newer loader, say, I don't know why, but when I'm running my cases into my resize die, when I pull the handle up, it's really hard? That's because you are not lubing the mouth of the case. I'm going to swap these. I want to stay in order here. So you got to lube the mouth of that case. And the next thing that we need to do, but we really, really don't for this, that's the only hand-applied case lube I use. Imperial Sizing Die Wax, period. That's all I use. And I've used all of them. I've used them. Now, I'm going to lube this case. But technically, for this part, we don't have to lube the case, because we're not going to size this. Okay. This case is set to a SAMI minimum chamber. Follow along Saturday night in the live stream, and I'll get into that. Okay. All we want to do is run our expander ball through the mouth of that case, through the neck. That's all we want to do. So what we're going to do is this. Now we have this die. Okay, let's back up, ram up, and we're running the die down. We're touching, no more. Now, back the die out, not quite 2 turns. You want to back that die out to where you're not sizing the body, but we're going to run the expander ball through the mouth. Have your appropriate shell holder on, run it up. You tell me which one looks more uniform to something that's circular. That one right there. Okay? So what I've done is we went from something that really wasn't perfectly round to something that is perfectly round. And now when you seat your bullet into this and you go to the range and shoot it, when you come back and you rerun this through that die, this is set to where it was the time before, and now you have something. Now you have repeatability, okay? I'm going to cover one last thing, and then we're going to bring this live stream to an end, because I got to get up really early. I get up crazy early, but I love it. I love, like, when 4:45 comes along. Oh, yeah, I'm like, God gave me another day and I'm on it. So I do. I love every day, all day long. I do. And I love you guys. This is the last thing that's going to really build into your accuracy on your lever action. First off, don't ask, reloader dude, don't ask me how far off the lands to load my lever action. Stop, reloader dude, because he knows. You don't, on your lever actions, we're not going for that. It's a brush gun. Load it to the correct overall length of the book. I'm done with it. That's my opinion. Other guys might disagree, but for me, I don't care about cartridge overall length. But what we are concerned about is our crimp. We're running a flat nose bullet because for a lever action, you don't run a little pointy bullet, as they say. I got a little pointy bullet because that pointy bullet is going to come up underneath and it's going to hit the primer of the next one, and your whole magazine is going to go off on you. Okay, I couldn't imagine. I've never experienced, never seen it. I've heard of it. Not a good thing. Okay, but we're using a flat nose bullet, right? And we're going to be seating these, and we got to crimp them. Well, why do we got to crimp them? It's the same as your auto-loading rifle. I just said that when you take your lever action rifle, other than your human ability to sit there like this, which some guys are so fast. I swear, some guys I think are as fast as a semi-auto, but I'm not. But just this movement right here and this movement right here, that's violent. So when you are running this round up into your chamber and that bullet is coming up into there, it's violent. So we have to crimp. Well, that brings us to this. There's two things that control that part of your internal case pressures, that is neck tension and crimp. Well, we just said that we're going to run this expander ball through all these necks and get those all the same. But if your cases aren't to perfect uniform length, your crimp's going to come in different, and now internal case pressures are off. Everything you did to perfect this case really didn't add up because that's different. So what we're doing with your case, we're going to take all these and we're going to make them the same. We're going to do better than factory on that end of it because you can do that with every case. So what we're going to do is you're going to uniform the primer pocket. You're going to run the expander ball through the case neck, getting it perfectly round and setting your neck tension. And then you're going to sit there and you're going to verify that all your cartridge cases are within maybe 1/2000. Maybe you could have one that's off by 3, but you want to try and get them the same. So that crimp hits every case just the same, okay? So that's what you want to do. That is exactly how I load my lever action rifles, and I'm here to tell you something. The problem you're going to have with your lever action rifle, well, you could have a problem if when you initially run your expander ball through it using this die when it's a new case. Okay, listen very carefully. Remember when I just ran this die down and I said back it up close to 2 turns? One thing that will mess a brand new case up is if this die isn't backed all the way out and it just kind of touches the cases. Because what this die does is it makes contact with the side wall before it really comes into the shoulder. So if this isn't quite up high enough, it squeezes your brass like a tube of toothpaste and it makes it a little longer. So you could load a bunch of brand new ones up and they just won't chamber, which we're going to get into the case gauge on the live stream Saturday night, and we'll get into more of these. But this is what I'm getting at. If you set this die up right and you load all your new Starline cases or whatever cases you're going to load, new, brand new, they're going to function through your 30-30 lever action, whatever you're shooting. They're going to function just fine if your rifle is fit for the job. The problem is going to be when you bring those cases back to the drawing board and you start sizing them, because see, now they've grown and you have to size those back, and that's going to be Saturday, and that will be a video, probably a live stream the weekend after, and we really will get into that. So that's all this live stream I wanted to cover. Remember, like, I don't care what rifle it is, what caliber you shoot, even your handguns, you want to, one, have all your cartridges the same. You want it so much the same that it's boring. That's great, because that's going to be exciting at the range. Okay? That's what you want. And then you want to repeat that when you come back to the bench. The same. No difference. The only difference you're going to have at the range is you. If you don't make everything the same, case for case for case, and for every reload, if you're having failure at the range, how do you know if it's you or your reloads? How do you know it's not your rifle? Take your gunsmith to a rifle, take your rifle to a gunsmith, and he'll say, yeah, your rifle's good. Okay, that's good. Now I'm messing up. Is it me or my reloads? Well, step back. What did you do to your primer pockets? Did you run the expander ball and set your neck tension? Trim length of that case. Were they all the same or pretty doggone close? It's just that simple. Once you get that down, and then you learn how to size back and trim, you're gold. You're there. So there you go. That's it. I'm going to move this. So I can see the comments. We're going to kind of wind this down. I hope that this was helpful. Thursday night, worked all day, came home, just thought I'd just do a 30-30 live stream. It's just all informative. So I hope this helped. I don't want to waste anybody's time. Okay, and I'm not pro. I'm not a big hunter. I'm just a guy that likes to go out and shoot. That's me. Okay, I see some questions, but I'm not really sure. Hey, yeah, reloader dude, I got some opinions for loading to the rifling for show. I don't worry about like my lever actions. I don't know. I guess if I was like scoping them and stuff, I would. I got other rifles. I got other rifles I do that with. My 30-30, it's I don't know. It's that gun that throw in the gun rack and go down the road with, and you know. All right. There we go. I'm trying to see how many we have on, but my screen's not showing me. Normally it does. All right. Any more questions based off the topic? So we can kind of keep it, you know. Bench rest rifles, okay. Yeah, I agree. Cheaper hunting rifles not needed. That's so realistic. That's real world. What Reloader Dude said, that's real world to me. I do. Okay, I know like a lot of guys, and they're loading their hunting rounds for sheer precision and all this. Then I got other buddies, and they're just out buying factory because they don't load, and they're out getting all the animals, right? Don't overcomplicate it. Just go do it. Just load it. Don't worry about beating factory. Just load it. Go out. Keep everything uniform, and you'll do good. You're welcome, Peanut. 3050. All right. So a couple updates. The XL 750. This series is in progress of. I can't do anything until this is done. I have everything. When I make a video, I leave everything where it was. So when I make the next video, it's the next step. It's video by video by video. So I can't use this. I don't even come out and pull this handle. I don't move anything. Okay. And so the next video I'll make, and the next video, so I can't use this. I can't wait. I will probably do 30-30 on this. You're going to see that. And I'm going to be doing 44 on this. So it'll be good. And I'll try and live stream those. I'll try and live stream those the best I can. We'll see. All right. Well, there we go. I want everyone. Oh, we got Stanley Hammer. Oh, 30. We got 30 on. Thank you, buddy. 30. That's not bad for Thursday impromptu. So, okay. Oh, I love that. It's awesome. People get excellent groups with factory ammo, and it's not 5 thousandths off the land. Bingo. Yeah. All right. I'm going to play a game. And there's only one type of person that will get this. I'm going to make a statement, and I want to see who can tell me what I'm talking about. Now, I'm not talking about anything gross. Okay, I'm not talking about flagellations. Okay, no. I'm going to say this statement, and I want to see who can type. You just need one word. Here it goes. I'm going to make this statement. Ready? In the mornings, can you smell it in the air? What am I talking about? Only a select few will get that. Not bacon. I'll take it over bacon any day of the week. Not freedom. Napalm. Not coffee, not napalm. Not gunpowder, not mist. Not hoppies, not fall. You can smell it all day long. This time of year. I'll give you a hint. Not a new day, not life. This time of year, your bird dog will go crazy. There's some bird dogs, some Brittany's, if you don't take them hunting, they will break out and they will go get a pheasant on their own. Can you smell it? What am I talking about? Pecan pie. Close, Bobby. Really close. Hunting. Hunting. Can you smell it? Only a hunter would get that. Those mornings where you get up early, you get out there, the sun's not even up. You go, it's pitch dark, you get set down, it's pitch dark, you sit down, and you're quiet for like several hours. And finally, the sun starts peeking up. Can you smell it? And when you get that animal, you never forget that. Wild turkey steak. Big Jake. I can't wait. I cannot wait to go hunting. I agree. Guys, I don't hunt a lot because I have really bad asthma, but I'm kind of thinking I'm going to go get my general deer tag this year, put my wife in the front seat of our truck, and go up. I had to take a lever action. Sometimes those deer come pretty close. I could probably bust one down so fast. I better take my Hot 6 because I'll see some big old muley. He'll be laughing at me 300 yards off, and I'll nail him. I'll drop him. Yeah. Well, when I went hunting with my son, there was a smell. That's funny right there. Well, that's because you're calling in the big bucks, okay? If you're calling in the big bucks, you know, that's legal. I gotta tell you guys a funny story, and then we'll end this. So, Miss Highboy and I, back, I can't remember if we were married. It was either the year before we were married or we were married the year after. We went hunting. And I asked her, I said, do you want to get a hunting license and a deer tag? She said, no, I don't. Are you sure? She said, no, I don't. I said, okay. So we hiked up on back into this canyon. We sat down real early in the morning, real early, and we sat. I mean, we hunkered down. We just waited. A little while into this, these deer start coming. Well, now wait. Let me tell you why Miss Highboy didn't want to get her deer license. She said, I don't think I could shoot a deer. I said, yeah, you can. She said, oh, yeah. I said, yeah, you'll just pull the trigger. It'll be over. She goes, no, I couldn't hurt an animal. Okay, I said, okay, fine. So on this particular morning, we're sitting there, and I'm glassing. When you're glassing, have the sun to your back so you don't, send signals off to the animals. And I'm glassing. And what you're looking for is when the sun comes down, it just lights the rumps of those deer. So there's my deer, and they're coming, and they're doe. They're just doe. They're not bucks, and they're coming right at us. They are coming right at us, and all of a sudden, Miss Highboy leans over and she says, "Can I shoot one?" Yeah. Do tell her what I do to my feeder animals. Oh, don't. Yeah. She would probably be okay with that. All right, guys. We're going to call it a night. Where's my mouse? So I want everyone to make the statement. Okay. I'm going to ask that question in the live stream. Can you smell it? And you guys will already know the answer. We'll see who gets it up there first. Okay, but you can't give the answer till I ask the question. Okay, I want you to all type, "Can you smell it?" and then tell me what big game animal you would like to hunt the most? Okay, let me know. Okay, can you smell it? And your big game animal, I'll call you off. Oh, Martin Wharton II, 270 Winchester, 30-06 Greenfield, 3-0 win. I switch between them for deer hunting. Yeah, those are like primo calibers, you know. Bobby Barlow, can you smell it? What do you want to get there, Bobby Barlow? Okay, Dead Horse, can you smell it? He can smell a dead elk. Stanley Hammer, can you smell it? He's talking about a boar. That would be fun, man. That would be so fun. And then the reloader dude, I can smell it. Whitetail, absolutely, buddy. 30-30, guys, all over that. Daniel Jones, can you smell it? Whitetail, very good. 150 grain bullet. Cold Front 79, can you smell it? Grizzly bear. Grizzly bear. They got to stink like worse than a mountain lion. And I've smelled black bear, I've smelled mountain lion, and they're disgusting. Grizzly can only be that much better. Big J, can you smell it? Roosevelt, oh my gosh. Roosevelt elk that'd be the elk. Their rat goes all the way back. All the way back. If you ever get one, I want a picture, brother. We can still hunt bison. That would be good. Very good, lean, healthy meat, like a moose. Got my moose 3 years ago. Man, I miss eating that moose. Ooh, can you smell it, muley? Nothing like a good muley, but whitetail's better than a muley. You know, more tender. But yeah, nothing like a muley, because we got a lot of muleys around here. So, I'm going to ask you a question. Oh. Do you think if I talk Miss Highboy in to putting in for her bull moose tag, and she gets it, and I get her outfitted with the proper rifle, all sighted in, and I take her and we're on back in the canyon, in the brush, and I get her within 70 yards of the moose, do you think she'd pull the trigger? I want to know. What do you guys think? And who do you think will pack it out? Can you smell it? I got nowhere to hunt. Come on up here, brother. I got the backyard. No, really, we got great area around here. Oh, pronghorn. That was Teddy Roosevelt's favorite game animal. And it's good. It's good. But you got to get the hide off of it now. Their hide is like no other animal. If you don't get it off, meat goes bad. Okay, and okay, Big Jake's saying 300 or 338 for moose. I used my .6, and I had my 30 as my backup with 170 grain flat nose. In case my optics, I had a problem with my optics, so I could still hunt. Some guys don't. Okay, some guys say, "Oh, you can't use 30-30 for moose." Oh, yeah, you can. I talked to the guide that I was with who helped me pack my moose out. He has guys all the time that use their 30-30s, and that's what they prefer. Because moose, generally, you're close up in the brush. That's a close-up gun. So really, that's about shot placement. So the moose isn't as grizzly as we think. Okay. I just use something big. Don't use a small caliber. Respectfully, kill is all I am getting at. Yeah, I get you. And I get you. Rather have 30-30 than a sharp stick. Yeah, absolutely. I think it'd actually be fun taking a moose with a 30-30. You'd have to get close and a good shot, and you'd do it. I think it'd be kind of a blast myself. No pun intended. Here we go. All right. We are out. Saturday, about 4:30 Mountain Time, I'm going to strike the live stream up, and we will look for I'm not sure how many we'll put on. For sure, JH586 will be on. If we're loader dudes, you want to be on, it would be an honor. I'll hold a place for you. You want to be on there, and we'd love to have you. And we'll probably get Walter on there and a few others. It'll be a good live stream. So here we go. Okay. Yes, copy that. Well, 16:30 Mountain Time, medium speed sun drag. Yes, sir. We're out. 3, 2, 1. God bless. We'll see you on the next.